The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser-cut dice towers, tokens, and more developed by a gamer for gamers and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gideon Block, a paladin with a tragic past.
And I'm Kiri Hester, Poppy Tea Leaf, a highborn halfling druid searching for a new life.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Tanar, a half-elf rogue with a past he can't seem to escape.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play McBride Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer getting out to understand his own arcane gifts.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Kalban Frontier. The citizens of the last stop have welcomed you with open arms. You are beginning to make friends, make connections, uncover secrets. But the question always stands: what are you going to do with those secrets once you've learned them? What actions are you going to take? What consequences are going to arise based off of the people that you have spoken to and the things that you have seen? Zonimus and Poppy, you have just finished up at the stables with the orc couple that runs it. Poppy just getting a few early lessons in what it means to be a druid in the Kalban Frontier. Yazgash pulls her hand back from where you have just been communing with Wildfire, your wolf BFF. And she gives herself a little shake and just, so, now you see how it is done. You can do it again.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of nice conversations, me and my friend Wildfire. Zonimus! His name is Wildfire.
Is that what he told you?
In his way. He doesn't use words like you, but that is his name.
It's a mighty fine name.
I thought so too. I imagine we'll just leave these dinner Tritos with Yazgash here, and we can go meet up with our compatriots at the Jumpin Jackalope.
Do you ever use horses for loan or sale?
That's my friend. Here we are taking care of mostly. These ones belong to various people in the community. Some of them have come in from, I also stable for travelers. I am putting in an inquiry for Mr. Gideon. He is one of your friends, yes?
Yes.
Yes. I have put in an inquiry. I sent, actually, let me make sure he's actually left. Windrunner! Are you still here? And you see kind of up in the hayloft, popping up as well, an elf. Full-blooded wild elf. And just, I didn't do it, whatever it was.
I like him already.
Lazy bones. He is supposed to be running to one of the ranches out nearby. There is a fine horse seller. I will put in an inquiry to see if there are any mounts available for purchase.
2 or 3, nice sized cart.
And then I put my hand on Poppy's forehead and say, "Are you ready to go?"
I'm fine. Are you seeing if I have a fever?
I was communicating with you.
You don't need to lay your hands on me to do that. And I will untuck my skirt and kind of dust it off there. I believe our friends are waiting on us.
All right. So you guys head away from the stables, leaving behind your new friends, as you watch Yazgash lovingly berating this elf, and he's, mounting up on a horse, completely bareback, and just sets off into the wild. Makran, Gideon, are you two headed for the saloon as well?
Yeah, I figure that's probably the easiest to do because we're all going to meet there. It's probably about 1 hour before we hit dinner, right?
Yeah, maybe hour and a half.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to head.
All right.
And Mokrin, as they step off the wood porch there and onto the dirt road, down the middle of town or whatever, he looks at Gideon and looks up at Gideon and then looks back down and then looks up at Gideon and looks back down. He's really trying to decide if he's going to share any of this information, the conversation that he had on the side with that. So I don't know how perceptive Gideon would be in seeing that look or not. You may be like looking ahead to the Jumpin Jackalope and stuff.
No, I don't actually. As far as I'm concerned, Gideon, when he's got a purpose, he just goes.
Perfect sense.
I say almost leaving Mokrin behind in the dust. And
I make sure I don't. Yeah, I understand. The neat thing about this world is that having many people of different sizes. I think that for us taller people, we tend to watch our gait to where we're not overstepping. I try not to overstep Poppy. It's a little harder. But with Mokrin, he's more a little bit. So I just kind of pull back my stride a little bit more so that he and I are walking side by side. But I'm just saying that when Gideon's got a purpose, which
he's
right
headed
now
straight.
is to meet the others at the saloon, that's where he's going.
He sees that, looking up a couple of times, like, okay, and then he just decides that's my answer, and so he just walks along with you.
All right. So the four of you meet up outside of the Jumpin Jackalope. Heading inside, the Jumpin Jackalope Saloon is a large, attractive building. Inside are a number of tables, a few of them already occupied by some rough-looking folks who are playing cards and drinking their troubles away. Behind the long bar, you see a purple-skinned tiefling dressed in low-cut blouse, corset, and ruffled skirt, somewhat straddling the line between masculine and feminine. They look up as you enter, flashing you a wide, charismatic grin. Well, hello there, and welcome to the Jumpin Jackalope. Folk around here call me Jubilee. What can I get for you fine folks?
Well, Jubilee, we thank you for welcoming us into your fine establishment here. My name is Gideon Block. Our friend here is Anonymous and Poppy and Mokrin. We just came aboard the train here to this fine town.
Some fine, upstanding new strangers that I can make the acquaintance of.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We'd appreciate. I would like just something to drink. Maybe some sarsaparilla if you've got it.
Of course, I've got the best sarsaparilla in all the frontier.
For my friend Anonymous here, I think he would like a whiskey. What are you guys having? I figure I will. I'll pay for it.
Remember, Mayor Armour said that
He said he'll pay for it.
You're right.
Drinks
I'd
on the
totally
house.
forgotten it.
This is going on a tab.
To apparently Mayor Jonathan.
Well, he is a quite generous man.
He has been a little bit of our benefactor here.
And what can I get for the rest of you? The tail kind of flicks, behind there.
Mokrin looks up and says, well, I'll have what he's having, and points at Anonymous.
A double as well?
Yes.
Poppy looks up at her, and she's very pink-cheeked. Just the aura of this woman just makes her blush. Or this aura of this tiefling, I misspoke, makes her blush.
Like I said, it's one of those you're not quite sure which. I mean, flat-chested, but definitely presenting themselves in a very ambiguous way.
Yes, so the aura of this tiefling makes her not uneasy. Just like when you're talking to somebody that you like, or you're talking to somebody that's way more experienced than you in maybe one section of your life. So she kind of just,
What's the matter, honey? Coyote got your tongue?
Just anything that you recommend, I'm sure will be wonderful. And she is kind of fidgets with her hands in her skirt pockets.
Jubilee leans back and, well, what you like? Do you like something a little fruity? You like something a little honeyed? Something a little dry?
I don't rightly know, honestly, what I like. And at this point, she also can't look straight at Jubilee. She's kind of looking over their shoulder.
She's new to a lot of this,
Oh.
but she's looking for unique experiences.
Oh.
So something a little sweet with a little bit of kick might be right up her alley.
I think I know just what to do.
Something soft, but something strong.
This is not going to end well.
I know just what to do. And Jubilee leans back from the bar and kind of goes over, and you start to see they pull out a platter and kind of just set it down so that they have somewhere to put all of your drinks. Put down a bottle branded with a bit of parchment that has the Jumpin Jackalope, the sarsaparilla. So they set that down, and then they pull out the 2 whiskey glasses and top shelf fine whiskey that they very artfully pour into these 2 glasses and set them down. Then they pull out another glass, pretty decent sized kind of cocktail glass, pull over a bottle of clear liquid, pour it out very artfully and skillfully. Then they pull over another, looks like some sort of bottle of fruit juice that they kind of twirl around and add that into it. Conjure up a couple of ice cubes that they dink, dink, shake, 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 shake. Pour it out into the glass and just artfully put a little bit of crushed mint on the side as they set that down. Just tell me what you think.
I'm sure it's rightly wonderful.
As they slide the glasses down towards y'all, tail again flicking with just unbridled joy as they, well, go on, find yourselves a seat, and if you need anything else.
Well, thank you,
Absolutely.
Jubilee, and I give her a wink and head back to the table.
Oh, I'm already gone. I'm already at the table. Bobby is very uncomfortable.
Did you how things go over at the
table and
oh, yeah? How did things go over at the general store?
They went right well. Hannah is the store manager. She owns the place, and she's got a checklist. She seems to know what she's doing. She's gonna put some things together and send word for us at the hotel when she's got all of that gathered up. Also, my wolf's name is Wildfire.
That
I
is
asked him.
a perfect name for that wolf.
I know.
You asked him.
I asked him.
How'd you ask him?
I asked him. Yes, Gas showed me. I touched his little forehead, and we had like a mind meld, if you want to call it that.
There's like a moment on Mockran's face because he's thinking, wait, so you communed with him the way I commune with the ground, with the stone. He doesn't say that out loud, but that's this little look of understanding or awareness or insight on his face. He's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. How did things go over at the jailhouse?
Good. The 3 goblins are still in custody. We also saw the young man who apparently is accused of trying to steal Mayor Jonathan's journal. He didn't speak to us. He was asleep the whole time. We didn't want to interfere with the sheriff's investigation, so we just left him there and told her to get in touch with us whenever she can, whenever she finds out whatever is going on. But we didn't have a chance to communicate with him at all.
Gideon, and then Mockran kind of looks around left and right a little bit and says, "Did you by chance catch a gander at his skin color?"
I did. It's kind of a reddish yellow and orange almost, and his hair is very orange.
I couldn't tell if it was actually had a luminescence to it or if that was just the light coming in through the one window, but very orange and fiery and very interesting.
Yes, that's all we could really ascertain from him. So we're going to keep in contact.
You didn't
Sheriff.
get a chance to ask him why he was interested in the journal?
Nope, didn't ask him nothing.
Didn't get a chance to talk to him at all?
No way.
No, I didn't want to interfere with any of the investigations she's got going on. I figure once she finds out, or if she gives us the blessing to talk to him, we can certainly do that. But I don't want to overstep our authority in this matter.
And she's sure he's the one that had the journal? They found the journal on him?
No, the journal is still at Mayor Jonathan's, correct? He attempted to sell it.
That's what you assume.
Right.
Because from speaking with Mayor Jonathan and speaking with Riza, it sounds like he maybe got as far as supposedly breaking into the house, but didn't actually get to the point of, I have the thing in my hands and I'm running away with it.
Right. Well, he didn't actually take the journal, but he was trying to steal it. That's what we're understanding. So,
Evidently they caught him around the corner. It might have been the wrong guy.
There's no harm, no foul. If he didn't have the journal on him, I don't see any reason to go back and investigate it any further. And he chugs his whiskey fast and hard and slams the glass back down and says, "So, Wildfire, you said.
Can't just change the subject like that. Yes, that's his name.
We should toast to that. I'll be right back. And I get up and go to the bar.
As you get up to go to the bar, one of the card players was also getting up to go get another round. The two of you actually kind of almost bump into one another, but the figure looks at you. It's got a hard look. Wait, I know you. Zonimus. What the heck? Where you been, buddy?
Been heading to the bar to get a drink. Slap him on the back. Try really hard to keep walking.
Let me come with you. Let me just come. And he, kind of hangs off you a little bit. Playing. You can see he's clearly playing it up. For the benefit of your party. But, yeah, he's just, listen, I tell you what, buddy, the next round, that's on me. As the two of you kind of head over towards the bar, and he, listen, I got something you might be able to help with.
I got my own thing I'm kind of working here.
Man, I mean, I know things went sideways, but it's Wiley. You guys used to be friends.
That was a long time ago.
Will you even just listen?
Oh, I'm listening. I listen to you sit here and talk all day.
They're saying he broke into the mayor's house. He's trying to steal something. But we know he's innocent. They're just looking for an excuse. That Brave Star woman, she done grabbed the first guy she saw and didn't ask too many questions. Anonymous, come on, please. For old times.
What do you want me to do? Prove his innocence?
I don't know. They've got him locked up in the jail. They've had him for 3 days now.
Well, that might not be such a bad thing.
You know Wiley.
Yeah, I do. He's part of the reason I'm out.
Can't y'all just let bygones be bygones?
This will be the 4th time we've tried to let bygones be bygones.
Well.
Right now, I am not in trouble. Right now, I got a good thing going. You're trying to pull me down.
Thought we were friends.
Were we ever friends? Would I know him to speak thieves' cant? To understand thieves' cant?
Chances are probably good.
Then I will...
You're familiar with this gang, so...
I just don't know what hit, because not everyone knows it. Then Zonimus will... Thieves can't motion... Are any of us ever really friends?
He just kind of motions back. Loyalty shouldn't be conditional.
You said you got the next round, right?
That I do.
I'm going to order... see, so we had Mac. I'm going to get another whiskey double. I'm looking at Jubilee while I'm saying this. I'll hold up the second finger and say another whiskey double. I'm going to hold up another finger, a third, and say whiskey double. And then I'm going to say, and Poppy wanted me to specifically ask you if you could make her another one of those 5 drinks.
Of course.
And I'm going to turn and look back at my friend and say, how fast are you going to run straight to him and tell him you saw me?
Well, it's hard for us to get in there right now with that Brave Star woman watching the door.
Really? Because I feel like I could probably just walk right up to him and start a conversation. Can you not just walk right into the jail with that Brave Star woman right there and start up a conversation with him? That's what it's like to be out. I'm more free than you'll ever know.
Enjoy your whiskey.
I will take the tray back to the table. I'm going to stop before I get there and down one of these shots of whiskey and set the empty glass on the table I'm passing. And then I'll set the tray down and I will hand Poppy her drink. And it came with this, and I'll smirk and wink at her. I'll hand Coughran his. I will take mine, and Gideon, you still have sarsaparilla there, don't you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
You still got some okay.
Yes.
I only got 3 drinks.
You're good.
I'm sorry.
You're good. It's not
All right,
something
yeah,
you can really slam down.
I was catching up with an old friend there and just got distracted. So, yeah, there's that. So, I'll hold my glass up high to wildfire.
To wildfire.
Back to the topic at hand. To wildfire.
For sure.
And I'll chug. I'll shoot that thing down, looking at Poppy with a plea of please in my eye over that shot glass.
I'll sip it.
High wisdom.
I inquired about horses
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one off the list since I think Poppy's got her own mode of transportation.
Right. Figure what we'll probably need is 3 of them, 3 horses, 1 for a cart, a wagon of some kind. We're gonna definitely need some gear, and so we'll have a wagon. I figure maybe Macron, if you can drive the cart, and a couple horses for you and I.
Sounds great. Everything in the general store is under your name.
It's actually under mine.
Gideon, under your name, Gideon.
Under your name.
Under-
I'm talking to you. I'm looking at the mic. I'm talking to you.
Which is no problem. We'll because of course we all have a per diem from the
Yes, you do.
Black Hands. So when do we want to start looking at heading out, or do we want to first look at this journal?
Hannah said it's going to take her a few days to get everything together. She just got a new shipment in, and her boys are helping her kind of sort those things out, but there might be a couple things that she might have to send somebody up the line a little ways to get. And then Gash sent her son to go talk to a local ranch, to see if they had any horses they could part with. But that might take another day or so to get those back in. Not all horses are as fast as Wildfire. So we're looking at probably staying here at least a few days.
All right.
Before we can
It's going to be a
go.
while to get the horses back, everything. Did not want to stay here any longer than we had to, get out there, get to mapping. I got things to name, locations to name.
Yeah, and I think we'll know a little better once we see this journal and how far Jonathan's father got in this.
Yeah, the journal will definitely be helpful. And we can inquire about that with the mayor tonight at dinner.
Exactly.
For sure.
Makran kind of suddenly remembers that, oh yeah. And so after he has chugged the second shot, he doesn't look, he was like looking to maybe it's his turn to go to the bar. And then he's like, oh yeah. So he decides that, probably 2 is enough.
We are going to the elected official's house. Whenever we're ready, I'd say we head on over there.
Do I see him playing cards?
Yeah, you see, and looking over, you do certainly recognize a couple of the faces at the other table. Because what at first, to an outsider might look fairly jovial, knowing them the way you do, there is a certain tension to their shoulders that obviously having Wiley imprisoned like this is not sitting well with them.
So if he's at a table with X number of others and they're playing cards, out of X, how many of them does Onimus recognize?
So there's a group.
Does it seem like he's playing cards with a local or anything? Or
No,
is anyone
there's
kind of green?
Yeah, no, it's a group of about 4. So there's 2. They're occupying 2 tables because the tables only sit about 4 people. So there are 2 different tables, 2 games going on of 4 each. The faces that you don't recognize don't seem to be locals. Like, they all look very travel worn, very, they kind of live out and they're just in town for...
It seems like there's any seriousness into their gameplay.
Not really,
Passing
they're
the
just
time.
they're just kind of passing time, hanging out, something to do while they're waiting.
I'm going to pass the table as I'm leaving, and I'm going to do something to get the table's attention somehow. Kick a chair, leg of a chair, as I bend down and go, oh, did one of you drop this? And stand up and flick an ace onto the table and turn around and keep walking.
They all kind of look at it, look back at you. All 4 of them kind of dive for it at the same time.
Makran notices this, and so a step away or so, he's like, Onimus, wasn't that your own card?
Do they know that?
So don't people usually get stabbed and shot in poker?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I didn't stick around to find out. Did you see anything?
Makran kind of pauses, as they're right outside and listens.
Are any of them stabbing each other?
Maybe doesn't hear anything. He's like, maybe it's a friendly game.
Maybe I should have threw 2 aces.
Howdy friends, Michael Cross here, taking just a few moments away from Red Dirt D&D, asking you to become a patron of this podcast. Your support means we can add a lot of extra niceties to the show in the form of artwork and music, as well as supporting our cast and crew. Patrons get early access to content as well as bonus material, along with access to our Discord server. You can even get an invite to monthly Q&A sessions and DM classes, maybe even a 2-hour game session with our very own Dungeon Master, Ash King. We have 6 different monthly levels to choose, ranging from $5 to $100. Head over to patreon.com/reddirtdnd right now to show your support for this new podcast. Now, back to Tales from the Caliban Frontier.
So night falls as you head to get yourselves cleaned up for the evening. The heat of the day gives way to a cool, clear evening. As the sun goes down, the Jumpin Jackalope lights up, providing entertainment and food for those seeking a more raucous atmosphere. The Long Rest Hotel also offers its patrons a simple, home-cooked meal. Those seeking something hearty with a quiet atmosphere fill its dining room. You, however, have a much better meal than both awaiting you at the home of Mayor Jonathan Amores. Approaching the 2-story building, you are greeted by the Amores family maid, who quickly allows you entry. Awaiting you in the main room is Mayor Jonathan himself, with 2 women, one in her early 50s, the other a girl, no older than 16. "Welcome again, my friends," Jonathan says to you in greeting. He motions to the 2 women next to him. "I would like to introduce my wife, Rebecca, and my daughter, Maria." They politely give their hellos.
Nice to meet you. You have a fine home. This is a beautiful place, and we are so thrilled to be guests in your wonderful establishment.
Oh, thank you very much, And it was Mr. Gideon.
Gideon Block here. This is Zonimus, and we have Poppy and Macron.
It's a pleasure. And he gives like a formal bow.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Please, we have prepared a lovely little dinner for you all. We hope that you will enjoy it. And
Jubilee sure was nice to us and worked up an appetite. Soak up some of this fine drink that.
Say, Papa, you're wobbling just a little bit. Jubilee does not joke around when it comes to cocktails.
Pours with a heavy hand.
It's one of those. She knows that it's better to be silent and thought a fool than speak and confirm it. So she's just being very quiet because she does not trust herself until she's never really been drunk before, and she's not quite drunk, but it's enough for her to start questioning. When you get that level of tipsy, you're like, I probably shouldn't say that all, but you're still sober enough to.
You're sober enough to know better, but drunk enough to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, then it must fall on me to try and poke and prod you to talk about something. So, much better than dirty whiskey, is it?
I don't say anything.
Tastes sweet, goes down easy. It's dangerous.
Mrs. Amores, this is smells wonderful in here. We thank you for inviting us over for dinner. How long have you been, if I might ask? How long have you been at the last stop?
We have been here. Jonathan has been mayor for going on 15 years now. They like him so much they keep electing him. And Jonathan just kind of, he takes the head of the table and just now. There is no need to be so. I do what I can, and it shows.
Everybody we've met in the town has been friendly, forward. We've not run into any problems, which some of the towns out in this close to the unexplored lands, you might see some trouble, but we really managed to keep a very clean town. It seems to be well ordered and again, incredibly friendly.
We do our best here. We get so many people coming to and fro that to have an attitude of hostility would be most unfortunate. We could not afford to not be hospitable. There are quite a number of other ranches and some smaller settlements that depend on us because we act as the trading hub for goods that are coming out of the east, and then people out here who want to sell what they have and they have made out in Venturas and other cities. It affords us a unique opportunity. We are in a unique place, and it is my hope that with a warm and welcoming attitude that we can inspire more people to come and to join us.
With the stability of tumbleweeds and the Jackalope and of course, the Long Rest Hotel. It just seems like you guys are on the right track. It must have been fairly shocking to have someone try to do some thievery in your own home.
Oh, yes, I say again, it was a most strange break-in.
If I'm not pushing too hard, what happened that night?
Well, as I say, Rebecca and I and Maria, we were all asleep and heard a noise of the door being forced, and someone got in and trying to get into my office, and I thought at first it might be to steal papers. I have a fair few papers of import, but there was someone who dressed all in black, trying somewhat to obscure their figure. Again, attempting to take the journal, and as soon as I saw them, and I was able to wrest it from their hands, and they took off. And then, of course, as you know, Riza, she managed to apprehend the suspect and has him still, to my understanding.
Where's the journal?
I keep it in my office.
Would you mind terribly if we took a look at that? I have to say, ever since you mentioned that, it sparked my curiosity. I think it's fantastic that you've got your father.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yes, my grandfather.
Would be a part of trying to map some of this unexplored wilderness, which is exactly what we're trying to do as well. If we could have a look at that.
Of course. As soon as we finish up here, I will... We can retire to my office, and we can have a nightcap. I will show it to you. If you may take whatever notes you like. He was a great explorer. I have greatly admired my grandfather. He had an interest in Thundercrack and collecting the tales of Thundercrack, and the tales are told all over the frontier, and so many different variations. It's a fascinating history, and that's what he wanted to study. So I think you will find his journal very fascinating and very enlightening. And at that point, the food is brought out. It's as rich an affair as you could expect on the frontier. The fare is somewhat simple compared to the fine dining available in Venturis, but the taste is absolutely fresh. The auroch steak that you are served probably came from the butcher's just this afternoon, and the vegetables probably grown at a farm not too far from the last stop and brought in, at some point earlier in the week. Paired with dinner is a light prairie wildflower honey mead, and Jonathan introduces it and says, "This is an orcish specialty. They do not brew with grapes or with grain as out in the East would. They brew with honey." So I think you will enjoy it.
Mrs. Amos, this is probably the best meal I've ever had. I was thinking maybe since Venturis, but I can't even remember a time in Venturis I had a meal this fine, especially the auroch meat. Well, it's incredible. I grew up here.
There is a difference that fresh versus shipped in makes.
Yeah, there was a homemade meal.
That's what it is. I can't tell you the last time I had a homemade meal that wasn't over a campfire and a dirty coffee can.
Or shipped in from miles away and canned and processed. And boy, to know that our local farmers and ranchers here were putting this together has just been... we thank you again. This is truly amazing.
Oh, you're most welcome. Again, it is all about the hospitality, and we favor the local flavors that are available here. There's just something about, I have traveled to Venturis a few times, and it is a fascinating place. Do not get me wrong. It can be dizzying, quite dizzying to be somewhere so large and feel so small and insignificant sometimes. But you kind of see, the 16-year-old daughter is just kind of, so tell me more about Venturis.
Well, I tell you, it's a pretty amazing city. It's modern, of course. They've got all the contraptions that you would expect. But the more I was there, it was home. But it also did make me miss the place that I grew up. So, Miss Maria, when you think about a place like Venturis, it's a nice place to visit. But don't forget your home. Don't forget where you come from, because this is a special place you got here in the last stop.
Well, yes, but it's so boring. You see the same faces every day. You talk to the same people over and over and over again. A city like Venturis, that place, it's alive. It's changing. It's growing.
It is, but it's not always as magical as you might think.
Well,
Have you been there?
not yet. I want to. I want to very badly. I want to see everything east of the Cracked Crown.
Look over at her parents. You think you're going to go there anytime soon? Family trip?
Jonathan kind of, he sits back and looks at his daughter, looks back at you and says, unfortunately, it is not in the cards as current. And you know this, Maria. We have talked. You are becoming a fine young woman. And maybe once you turn 18, we can arrange for some traveling. And Maria just kind of leans back in her chair, that typical teenage girl, she's got big plans and big dreams, but it doesn't seem like her folks are completely on board with them yet.
And Mrs. Maria, I was into my 20s before I left the Caliban frontier, and I tell you, you miss this area. So just remember, again, it might be great and wonderful to want to outsee the big city, but remember where your roots are, because this is a special place you're not going to find anywhere else.
You should definitely go when you can. You won't be there long before you start missing this. When you come back to this, you're going to hate leaving there. But when you get back to this, you'll have exhaled for the first time in days. Feel a relief.
She kind of sits down and pouts a little more, taking her fork and just poking at, some of the few vegetables that are still kind of sitting on her plate, just looking a little despondent.
She doesn't want to hear advice from two old, beat up roughnecks like you and me.
Better than her parents, I think.
I'm going to grab the honey mead and I'm going to pour a glass of it and I'm going to sit it in front of Poppy without even acknowledging I'm doing it. And I'm going to pour another one and sit it in front of me.
I'm going to actively ignore this meat. And catch Maria's eye and just kind of give her a wink. Maybe with the idea of maybe we'll have some girl time later.
Some girl talk.
Yeah.
Once the business is over and done with, yeah, she kind of looks at you and just gives you a little, because she recognizes that you two, you're a couple years older than she is.
Yeah.
And she can see that, that you've kind of got a little bit of that rebellious spirit in you. So
right.
she gets a little more hopeful.
So, Mayor Jonathan, if you don't mind, maybe we could retire and take a look at this journal.
Oh, of course. Let us. And just before he can start to get up, you hear the front door slams open, and the dining room door slams open, and several rough-looking individuals enter, weapons trained on the room's occupants as a warning against making no sudden moves. And they've got all their bandanas up, and you hear a gentle sound of spurs clinking against the floor as a figure dressed in a long, dark duster and hat enters into the room. His skin is a burnt, reddish color, hair the orange of a bright campfire, and as he takes off his hat, his eyes are a glowing yellow, nearly luminescent. He glances over the group, his gaze settling on Zonimus for just a moment too long before returning his eyes to Mayor Jonathan. Pardon the intrusion, Mayor, but we have some unfinished business.
Red Dirt D&D is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Macron Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, and I'm Michael Cross as Gideon Block. Our sound producer is Mark Coughran. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride, and our sound effects courtesy of TabletopAudio.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our new home on the interwebs, RedDirtDND.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word out about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure and subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels to help us grow up big and strong. And finally, a special thank you to KOSU for giving us a platform to do what we love so much. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban frontier.